Hello friends, it's Lindsay Satterfield for the fourth time trying out this Facebook Live, so we'll see how this goes. All right, I am here today to talk to you about something that I'm seeing that I see every year at this time, and oh, by the way, Happy New Year, almost, Happy New Year's Eve. I see this every year at this time. We see, on the one hand, lots of people talking about setting goals and goal setting, goal getting, including me. So that is a big conversation going on right now. Let me just take that off. That's a big conversation going on right now. And then there's the other side. You start hearing voices of dismissing and dissing goal setting and goal getting. And I want to encourage you not to fall for this. You know, I have been listening to these voices and listening to what people are saying, and I kind of think there is, it's revealing something about a mindset related to goals that lots of people have, and why then goal getting becomes so difficult. So I want to put a little light on this mindset that I think can get in the way of goal getting. So first of all, okay, so it reveals to me a relationship to goals as a taskmaster, goals as burdensome, goals as hard, goals as kind of this difficult expectation that becomes a burden. And that is not a helpful way to think about goals. You know, goals are really aligned with how we're designed. We're designed to take action. We're designed to see the future. We're designed to make progress and want to, in making progress, experience our own capacity to have control. We are wired that way. So goals really work with our design, but when our mindset about our goals is off, then it makes it really difficult. It makes the whole process of goal getting a burdensome one, a difficult one, a challenging one. You know, and this year I have found that there's been an added element to this conversation of saying, you know, don't worry about getting those goals. And it comes with the statistics around how people make resolutions and then give them up, and it's such a bummer, and you know, we just don't want to go down that path. So this year, I'm just looking over here, this year there's an additional element that's been added to that, and I've seen it a couple places where people are saying, you know, it's been a hard year, and yes, it has. It's been a hard year, so really just be easy with yourself, just be gentle with yourself, don't worry about those goals, or just do something, you know, just a little bit, just be gentle. And what I find interesting about that is what that is saying underneath it, which is goal getting is somehow not gentle, that in going after things we care about, that it's difficult, it's hard, it's a burden. So I'm thinking about this, like, why do we see it this way? And I think it reveals three things that I've thought about. It probably reveals some other things in terms of where this mindset may originate from, or what might contribute to a mindset like this. One is perfectionism. So when you are really perfectionistic about everything, that's a real fixed mindset. That's where you have a high identity to your achievements. So you and your achievements are one and the same. So right out of the gate, it starts to become challenging to, burdensome, because you have to fulfill this thing and do it perfectly. So that makes goal getting really a drag. So that's one mindset that I think gets in our way around how we relate to goals. Another is just what I said, our identity related to achievement, that it's really highly connected, and you want to start to pull that apart, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment. And then it also reveals a miscalculation about happiness, I think, because there's so much, if there's pressure around goals, then oftentimes it's linked to this idea that when I get this, when I do this, when I accomplish this, then I'll be fulfilled, then I'll be happy. And that's not how the researchers have found that happiness or fulfillment or joy, or however you want to talk about it, that it works that way. That actually happiness, fulfillment, joy is a precursor to successful outcomes. So it isn't about when I get this, because you see the pressure it places on the goal getting. So no wonder after a year like this, you might say, just calm down. Be gentle. Don't do too much. So those are the things that I've seen can contribute to sort of an unhealthy relationship to goals. So I want people to think about goals differently, not so much as a zero-sum game of winners and losers. Really, it's about how you play. And it's no fun to play a game that doesn't have a goal, right? So the way you get better at playing is you have a goal to kind of play against, right? So the goals, as I often say, the goal sets the game is where you play. And it's the game that matters. It's the game you want to love, not that thing at the end. But you have to have the thing at the end in order to really play a good game, to like the game. So as I said, we're creatures of action. We want to have, we sort of have an internal drive for control. And this year there's been so many things that have been outside of our control. And that's why, you know, in the Power Start program, which I'll also tell you about in a second, in the Power Start program this past year, it was incredible to see these people who were in the program who had goals, how they were able to navigate in a really different way. I felt having goals. The goals actually gave them stability in a time of so much out of controlness, like so many things being disrupted. They had these goals that they were able to stay with, and it gave them this kind of stability, this kind of security. So I want a new relationship to goals where they make you feel that they give a sense of stability, of clarity, of peace, of harmony, of alignment, of purpose, of meaning. That is what goals should be giving you, not a sense of a heavy-duty taskmaster or how you're not living up to someone's expectations or your own. That's not what goal getting is about. So I encourage you to shift your mindset. And one way to do that, there's a couple ways that I just want to share. One way is connecting to meaning. So I mentioned that we are wired for control. We're also wired for meaning, because our neurochemistry is all built on sort of the emotional body, right? So we are emotional creatures, whether we like it or not. So when you can connect what you're doing to something meaningful, something you care about. So it isn't really about that end. It isn't about winning that game. It is really about, what do you care about? Why do you care about this game? And constantly building the muscle where you're connecting your goal to what's meaningful to you. The other way is to, I think where people get frustrated with goal getting is they have the goal, but they really don't have the pathway to get there. And because they don't have the pathway to get there, they feel disappointed. They haven't even started playing the game. So the way you play the game, one way, is to find a small action you can take consistently over time, what I like to call a lead action, a small action, and the key is consistently over time, that will likely lead you to advancing towards your goal. Because that's where your attention is. If your attention is just on the goal and not on the action here, because that's really what goals do. They change our present. They change what we do today. They're not as much about the future as we think they are. So you want to identify the meaning, and then also you want to make sure that you have a consistent action that you can take. And this isn't to make you feel bad, because we got to stop feeling bad, right? So if you don't do it one day, if you don't do it 2 days, you just restart. One of the biggest skills for goal getting is the restart, learning how to restart, learning how to pick yourself up and do it again. So, and again, this is how you play the game. So connect to meaning, get a small action that you can do consistently over time. It'll advance you towards that goal, and it'll give you this sense of clarity, accomplishment, peace, purpose, all those things I mentioned. So let's see, the last thing, yeah, and look at how you're looking at goals, right? You want to create a friendly relationship with your goals. You want to be friends with your goals. If you are arch enemies, it's going to be super hard. Or if you feel a lot of tension with your goals, you want to create a great relationship with your goals. Goals can be your greatest well-wisher, your greatest benefactor, because of how they give you directionality, the sense of moving forward. After a year like this, where everyone has literally been in one place, this idea of being able to move forward and work progressively towards a goal can really be rejuvenating, inspiring, and energizing. That's what goals should bring you. They shouldn't be depleting. They shouldn't be something that you think, oh, I need to not do those because I need to be gentle with myself. Now, all of this, I want to put one caveat on this. This year has been very hard, and there are many people who have experienced loss of loved ones. So grieving is a whole different process. So if you're in a state or process of grieving, that has its own rhythm, its own timeline, its own time frame. And sometimes for some people in that process, having a goal really is helpful, right? And for others, it's not. So we're not talking about that in relationship to the comments I've heard about 2020 being hard and just be gentle on yourself. If you're in a grieving process, yes, take the time that you need in that process. And when we talk about goals, let's not talk about being gentle with ourselves, because we want the way we approach our goals to be gentle, right? We don't want to be harsh. We don't want our goals to be burdens. We don't want our goals to be unmet expectations. We want them to help us rise, to help us move forward with, as I said, clarity, confidence, peace. It brings all those things. So I encourage you to not listen to all of the chatter about, with the goals and all the statistics and all of that. No. So if you are interested in pursuing some goals in 2021, and you would like some support of really looking under the hood about goal getting and what is the science of goal getting and what helps you make progress on your goals, then I encourage you to consider joining us for Power Start 2021. It starts the week of January 11th. I'm super excited about it. It's the third year I've offered it, and it's been incredible to see the progress people make on their goals. So it's an online program. There's some individual coaching that's optional if you want it. There are group meetups that are optional if you want it, but there is also weekly content that you can watch whenever floats your boat, and it will support you in this process of making significant, tangible, bankable progress on your goals for 2021 in the first 3 months of the year. You get this kind of momentum that then allows you to take on the rest of the year with some energy behind it, having already made a good deal of progress. So I will put a link below in the comments or wherever in the description, depending on where you're watching this. I'll put a link to the Power Start 2021 program. If you're interested, check it out. I would love to welcome you to it. So regardless, I hope that you will go ahead and get some great goals that inspire you, that will be a great companion to you over this next year. So have a great happy new year. Have a great day today, and let's step in with a lot of hope and support for one another into 2021.